Year's taxes, 2 months bank, 2 pay stubs. You ain't even gotta worry about HUD. Cause if you got your two, and your two, then we got you. Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, it's CC, CEO. Wanna change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a gold builder that can teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst. And watch it all second, watch your black on firm, but we ain't all black.
Your two.
Hey, what is happening, y'all? It's your girl, Constance Carter. And if you don't know, that's our LOC, Ladies of Catalyst. That's our new single that's getting ready to drop. It's called 222, and we got you. That was my little verse. I was spitting a little something, huh? Yeah, it's CC, the CEO. Want to change your life? Come see me, yo. But today, I'm going to talk to you about flipping houses. What's up, sweet great mom from Philly? What's up, everybody out there tonight? Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm not gonna be before you very long because it's Thanksgiving Eve and I got some cooking to do. But I do want to talk to you, and like I tell you all the time when you tune in with me, I'm only gonna talk to you about things I know. I'm not talking about things that I'm talking to you about things I know. I'm talking to you about things I've done. I ain't talking to you about nothing that I don't know. And one of the things I do know is about flipping houses. So before I get on that, I want to make sure that you subscribe to flynubianqueen.com, the network for melanated women just like you. And I also want you to text the word Queens to 31996. Again, text the word Queens to 31996 to receive text alerts and special offers. Also, subscribe to Nobody Works Harder Than Constance Carter. What's good, everybody? What's good, Eddie Ray Frazier? Chic, what's good, you guys? Again, I'm gonna talk to you today about flipping houses because I flip houses. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman. That's what I just talked about on my little rap. So I'm gonna talk to you today about flipping houses because if you don't know, 80% of wealth in this country is generated through real estate. Did you know that 80% of wealth in this country is generated through real estate? 90% of this wealth in this country is passed intergenerationally. And a lot of us were kept out of the wealth building process due to a lot of things like systemic racism, laws put in place, redlining, and all of those things. And I'm sure all of a lot of you that subscribe to Fly Nubian Queen, you guys already know. You are a well-informed group of people. And so you know why the wealth gap is so great. But one of the ways that we can close them is definitely through real estate. And real estate is one of the fastest growing pieces of equity that you can have. You also should diversify your portfolio. You should definitely invest in stock and definitely invest in other things. But I want to make sure that real estate is one of the ways that you do so that you can create wealth relatively quickly. So let's talk about some entry ways to invest in or actually to flip some houses, because this is what I've done. Okay, the Bible says, Ecclesiastes 11:2 says that you should have 8 revenue streams in case a disaster strikes the land. And guess what, y'all? Right now, a disaster has stricken the land. A disaster is here. But what hasn't slowed down in no markets anywhere is the real estate market. Everybody thought the real estate market was going to fall from the bottom. Everybody thought that a bunch of stuff was going to happen because we have these deferred loans, we have these forbearances, but we also have really great interest rates. The rates are lower than I've ever seen them in my career, and I've been doing real estate for 17, 18 years, and I've never seen interest rates this low. And so people are buying real estate up, but there are still some really good deals out there. Interest rates are in the 2% right now, you guys. Like, I'm buying up property as an investor. Now, normally investor loans, the rates are like typically higher, 4 or 5%, 6% sometimes. I'm buying investment properties at 2%, 2.99%, 3%. It's crazy out there. So I want to put you guys up on game. I want to get you guys in the game so that you can start investing in real estate, start flipping houses so we can make this cheddar. All right. So listen, do you have money? You got money to put down? They have these programs. They have these programs out here that says that you can buy houses with no money down, that you can flip houses with no money down. And the cool thing is for them and not for you is that they make you pay $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to take their program to tell you how to basically tell you what I'm about to tell you for free. There's no way that you can do anything with no money down. And it's a bait and switch tactic that they try to do. And, you know, a lot of people, we want something for nothing. But with everything, you guys, we got to have some skin in the game. So the first thing, if you don't have any money, let's get you into a home. Let's get you into your first single family home. Now, there's down payment assistance programs out there where you can get money, where you get help, where you get grants, and you can get down payment assistance that'll help you get into the home. But you have to live in the home. So there's a caveat. So you can get down payment assistance from your local municipalities, cities, the counties, and the states give out money for down payment assistance if you don't have money for down. So you can get into an FHA loan for 3.5%. So if it's $100,000 home, you would have to come up with $3,500 down. Get into that home, okay? If you don't have $3,500 to put down, you can get a down payment assistance from a city, state, or county. All right. The other thing, so let's say you don't have any money, and we're going specifically from, and Lytonya, I appreciate you being on here. I always try to keep it real. I always want to make sure that you guys, I'm giving you the best information based upon my personal experience. And I'm not telling you something that I heard. I'm telling you something that I absolutely know because I've done all of this, right? And I operate in the gray, right? So I do things to where I'm able to just, kind of push, never illegal, but I teeter on making sure that I can make the puzzles fit to make it a best case situation for me. So getting in the property, staying in that, getting your first home if you don't have any money, getting that down payment assistance. Now, free money ain't all the way free. Some of them are grants where you don't have to pay them back, and some of them are silent loans where you do eventually have to pay them back. But getting that home long enough to build some equity. In some cases, you can get a home, relatively cheap, and you can get that equity, and within 6 months, within a year. It may take a little time for you to build the equity so that you can start taking the equity out so that you can purchase your next property. So if you don't have any money down, if you don't have no money, start with purchasing your first home, some down payment assistance, build equity, okay? If you do have money, I would say, or if you don't, maybe you have a 401k, maybe you have a gift from an auntie, maybe you have a pool of people that can come together that can help you to realize your dreams, and they lend you the money for a period of time, and then you pay them back. So there are 4 things that I want you to do. So now that you've gotten your money, so say all things being said, you got into the home. Now you have equity. Now you pull the equity out. So now that you can start flipping homes, say you didn't have any money. Now you have the money. So now we're on the step where you have the money. You have a team of 4. You have a team of 4. You have your lender. You have your contractor. You have your real estate agent, and you have yourself. Now I flip homes. It's loopholes and everything. So I flip homes. I typically will use a wholesaler, and it's so funny because wholesalers are so popular right now, and I think they're popular because of TikTok. My kid says because my kids are talking about becoming wholesalers, and I'm like, y'all don't even know. I bought all my properties from wholesalers. If you guys wholesale, if y'all find these deals for me, we'd be rich. A couple of a 19 and a 20-year-old came in my office like 2 weeks ago because they want to wholesale. Same day these kids came into my office. Another parent called me and was like, hey, my kid wants to wholesale. Like all these kids are looking at wholesaling because it sounds really sexy. And it's a great way for an individual. And I'll talk about wholesaling at another time. We'll talk about wholesaling later. In fact, subscribe to my page, constancecarter.vip.com. constancecartervip.com. Go subscribe there. And we are going to do a mastermind. We're going to do a mastermind on next Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, so we can dive a little bit deeper into what I'm talking about. Because when you're flipping houses, there's certain things that you got to know. And I don't have enough time here to really dig deep into it. So I want you to go to constancecartervip.com. And subscribe, and we'll send you an alert to let you know when the mastermind is next Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, so we can dive a little bit deeper into it. But you need your team of 4. Again, you need your lender, you need your contractor, you need your agent, and you need your partner. If you want to flip, if you need a partner, I would suggest when I did my first flip, I had a partner. That way, they got some skin in the game, I got some skin in the game. And it just so happened that my partner was also a contractor. So I was trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I was trying not to put as much money out there, and then I was also trying to get the work done, relatively cheap. Now, there's certain terms, there's certain real estate terms, and there's certain things that you need to know as an investor once you start flipping. You need to know how much the property is. You need to know how much what's the repair value, what's the repair cost. And then you want to know what the after repair value is, the ARV. And that's going to determine whether it's a good deal or not. So you have people who are on the higher end of the spectrum. I see people flipping $700,000-$800,000 houses, and they're getting $300,000 or $400,000 returns. Or, I don't got that much cash, but I'm flipping $200,000-$300,000 houses, sometimes $400,000 houses, and my return isn't as great. If I flip a $100,000 house, I might make. So for example, I purchased a property for $50,000. I purchased it from a wholesaler. It cost me about $25,000 to fix it up, and I ended up selling it for $180,000. So I paid cash for the property. I paid out of pocket for the repairs, and then once we sold it, so I made over $120,000, $130,000. I can't remember right now how much I made, but somewhere around $130,000 on this one deal. Pretty good, right? I also will use, sometimes, depends on what my cash flow looks like. I may not have the cash to flip the property. It may be a little bit too rich for my blood. So I'm going to use a lender. I may use a private money lender. I may use a hard money lender. I may do that. And so with that, the thing that you have to realize is a hard money lender or a private money lender, they're going to be a lender that the interest rate is going to be a little bit higher. It might be a 6 or 7, 8. Back in the day, it was a 10, 12, 13% interest rate. I've done it with a 10, 12% interest rate, but I was in and out of that property so fast, it really didn't matter. So when you have hard money lenders, you got to go in with an exit strategy. They're not trying to lend to you for very long, and you do not want to keep that money very long. You want to get in and get out. So you might have to put down, instead of putting down the full amount of money, you might have to put in, 20, 30%, have a little skin in the game. They will even finance your repairs for you. So they'll finance the repairs for you. They'll get you in, but you need to make sure that your contractor, I've had so many issues with contractors just in real estate in my own house. I've had to sue contractors. So you need to make sure that you have a reliable team, because if you can get somebody, and if you don't know better, they can run off with your money. There are rules for contractors. They're not supposed to charge you more than a certain percentage up front. And if you don't know, you'll be paying them more than what you're supposed to be paying them. And they'll leave your property halfway done, and they'll run off with your money, and they'll be on to the next job. So you have to be very mindful, very careful when you're interviewing your people. You ask certain questions, you get references. When you're dealing with your agents, and make sure that the agent that you're dealing with understands the difference between before repair value and after repair value. Those are 2 very separate things, because that's going to tell you what your equity position is. And again, we'll talk more about that at ConstanceCarterVIP.com next Tuesday, where we'll do a Q&A. But that's where you'll start with flipping houses. So if you don't have money, I would say get your first property. Get a really, really, an inexpensive property, something that you may have to live in. You don't got money, some down payment assistance, okay? I've even seen where people have been able to use credit cards for down payment, right? So as long as your debt to income ratio can support you pulling the money off the credit card in order to put down on the house, I've seen that happen. So there's ways to work around it. You can't use mattress money. So a lot of people, they don't have money in their bank accounts. They like to put their money in their mattress. You got to have your money in the bank. It has to be in the bank for 2 or 3 months. It has to be seasoned funds before you can use it. with getting financed. So get that first property if you don't have money. Get down payment assistance, pull the equity out, put it down on your first flip. All right. So once you get your equity, once you get your profit, that first initial amount of money that you put in. So say you put $20,000 or $30,000 in, you pocket that money. That goes back to you. So now all the money that you put in, now that goes back to you. And now the money that you've made off of this investment, now you put it on the next property. And then you repeat the cycle. You rinse and repeat. And then the money you put on there, okay, now you've gotten that money. That's the whole idea behind flipping property, right? You always want to make a profit. And the profit is really up to you. I flip properties where I made $200,000 on a property. And I flipped properties where I made 20. I think my first flip was $13,000. So it's not always going to be a big windfall return. You might have those skinny deals, and that's okay as long as you have some kind of profit. You never want to go in the red. And when my partner and I did our first flip, we were both like, you know what? This is a learning experience for us. We don't really know too much about flipping houses. As long as we ain't in the red, which we weren't. And I was disappointed. Actually, we made $26,000. So I made 13, he made 13. So we actually made a $26,000 profit between the two of us. But we were just happy to not be in the red. And as long as we were there, we were good to go. So it's a rinse and repeat. And I want you to take this information again. Go to Constance Carter VIP. We'll talk a little bit more about it. But the whole point of me sharing with you this information is so that you could take it and you could teach it to other people. You can implement it and you can teach it to other people, specifically your kids. When my kids told me that they wanted to wholesale, I wanted to run around my house shouting. I was so happy that it's like, okay, they're listening. Like, it's like, okay, what I'm teaching them, what I'm teaching other people is manifested in my children. Because what's going to happen is that next generation we're going to make it better for them. So the information that you learn here today, you guys, make sure that you're teaching it to your kids. Make sure that they're tuning in. My son teaches he's not 12, he's 16. My son made over $4,000 trading stock within the last month on Robinhood. He's doing a class. He has and I'll put it on there. Later because I don't have it in front of me. He has a small mastermind group that he just started today, and he's killing the game. This is stuff that your children can do too. And I just want to make sure that you guys are getting dialed in. I want to make sure that you guys are plugged into the information because the opportunities are out there. My son today, he just got back. My daughter took him to the UPS store. They just got back from the UPS store because he wakes up at 6 o'clock in the morning and he buys shoes and he flips them. So he bought a pair of shoes for $120 and he sold them today. The shoes, well, he probably bought them a few days ago. They came in today. He sold them today for $375. This is stuff that your kids could be doing where they can make money. I'm not teaching my kids to be working for nobody. I'm teaching them how to be entrepreneurs. And so the information that I'm sharing with you guys today, I want you to make sure that you're doing it. You not only implement it, but you're teaching your kids the same thing. So I'll make sure when I come back on here on Friday that I tell you guys a little bit more about my son's stock class because they making a killing. He took my daughter's portfolio. My daughter's 21, you guys, and my daughter had $500 in her stock portfolio, and she's had it for like 8 months. She made $20 in 8 months. Okay. He was like, let me see your stock portfolio today. He said, let me see your stock portfolio. So he started moving stuff around. My daughter made $100 today in her stock. She had $500. Now she's up to $600 today. My mom, he just changed my mom's stock portfolio last week. She's made $300 already in a week. So there's money, and $300. And so there's money out there to be made. You just got to tap into the resources. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to make sure that you guys have the resources. Again, I ain't telling you something that I heard. I'm telling you what I know and what I do. So make sure you guys go to ConstanceCarterVIP.com and let's do this Q&A. And if you have further questions, because I see a lot of comments out there, if you have more questions, subscribe to Constance Carter VIP, you're going to get some alerts. And we're going to do some masterminding on Tuesday at 5 o'clock Pacific and 8 o'clock Eastern. All right. So, like I said, I wasn't going to be before you very long because it's Thanksgiving Eve and I got to get to cooking. I got to get in the kitchen. But you guys take care and God bless. And hopefully you got some great information. All right. Peace and blessings, you guys. Take care. Have a great night.